Hi guys, and welcome back to a new vlog. My name is Rachel, if you haven't been to my channel before, and this is my channel where I share everything to do with living a handmade, homegrown and slow life. Today is going to be a really nice little cozy vlog. Russell is away at the moment. My husband Russell is away on a guy's trip, and you may have seen some bits and bobs. Last week's video was a cottage tour of our new cottage that we've just bought that's a complete renovation project. So basically the last few weekends have been spent painting and cleaning and sanding and loads and loads of DIY, and I'm absolutely knackered. We've worked so hard. We've still got a little bit more work to do, but I thought I would take the opportunity whilst Russell's away to also have a break myself and to not go over to the house and do loads and loads more work and to actually chill out a bit. So I'm treating myself to a little crafternoon. So I'm going to spend the afternoon doing some crafting. I think as well, whilst Russell's away, I often don't sleep very well. I don't know if anybody else finds that who's married or in a long-term relationship, that when you're used to sleeping next to somebody when they're not there. I don't know, I just don't sleep well. I don't sleep as deeply. But yeah, so I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit whoa, my nervous system feels a little bit frazzled. So I thought actually a cozy little afternoon of crafting is just what I need to sort of make my feel relaxed and calm, and yeah, just give myself a bit of a treat after so much hard work on the house and not sleeping very well. So I think the plan today is I'm going to do a little bit of sewing, and then I've got some other bits and bobs. I think I'm going to do some cross stitch. I'm trying to learn how to crochet, more on that later in the video. So I might do some crochet and some knitting. It's actually quite a nice day today. It is sort of sunny and quite warm. It's 25 degrees in Worcestershire. The clouds are sort of in and out, but I may do some of the stuff, especially things like knitting or cross stitch. I might go outside and sit outside and enjoy that, and yeah, I'll sort of catch you guys up on what projects I'm working on at the moment, and just take you along with me on this cozy little afternoon. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so sewing wise, this is what I'm up to at the moment. I am sewing you guys are gonna laugh, it's another Mabel dress. I know, this I think is my 7th Mabel dress. This is one of my absolute favorite sewing patterns by Tilly and the Buttons. It just really suits my figure. It's so comfy. I find it very easy to make. It sews up very quickly and it works in so many different fabrics. It's just the perfect dress for me. So I do have quite a few now. But this is actually, if you watched my, oh gosh, this was a while ago now. I did a video of my, going to my first ever flea market. I picked up this bed sheet, which is a Laura Ashley bed sheet, which I didn't realize until I started taking it apart and found the label. Laura Ashley is one of my absolute favorite brands. I just love Laura Ashley, and every now and again you find Laura Ashley bedding or Laura Ashley fabric at the flea market, and sometimes if you're very lucky at the charity shop. But yeah, this is where I'm up to. So the pattern, you always start off by sharing the top of the skirt, and then I've made some of the bodice as well. So yeah, here's the front of the bodice that I've sewn up. So I'm just going to keep working on this. My sort of standard thing for dressmaking, because I have chronic fatigue, I'm very careful not to sort of overdo it, because it can be very easy to get super absorbed in a project and then just basically end up exhausting yourself and just overdoing it. Yeah, I thought I'd just turn the camera around. Yeah, so I like to sort of do my sewing in bits. I know lots of people will sit down and sew for a whole afternoon, 4 or 5 hours, and they'll get a whole garment made. That's not something that works for me, because I have ME and fibromyalgia, so chronic pain and chronic fatigue. And so one of the ways that I sort of manage that, one of the ways that I sew with a disability, is that I tend to just sew for an hour at a time, and I really take my time with it. I don't rush, I don't stress. I used to, in the past, set myself ridiculous goals. I needed to make this dress by then, and I wouldn't give myself enough time and all that kind of stuff. But that was just really unpleasant. So I've now got to a point where I really don't need to do that. My wardrobe is full of beautiful handmade dresses that I've made. So anything that I'm bringing in is sort of like a nice extra. So I'm just like taking my time. So I don't know how, that's to say basically I don't know how much I'm going to get done today. I'm just gonna start sewing, pop on an audiobook and just see where we get up to. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. This fabric, this bed sheet that I got from the flea market, it is a bit faded in some places. So the thought is that this dress will actually be more of a sort of like home dress, like a gardening dress, because as I say, it's quite like the sleeve, like the bits that I cut out for the sleeves were from some pillowcases, and they were very, very faded. I think they must have just been like by a window or something. So yeah, this to me, I'm sort of basically creating my perfect summer gardening dress, because I garden in dresses, I do everything in dresses. So yeah, I sort of thought this would be great. I think this bedsheet cost me £7. So and I still have a whole load of it left to make a jacket with as well. So it does not really owe me very much. But yeah, the plan is that this will become like a really comfy, easy summer dress that I can just like potter around the garden in. So yeah, let's get going with some sewing. That rhymes. Hi everybody, excuse the mess behind me. We are packing to move into our cottage, so it's slightly chaotic in the house at the moment. But I I have finished my sewing for the day. I managed to get quite a lot done, which is great. I think I probably need another 1 or 2 sessions, so 1 to 2 hours to finish the dress off. But the skirt is all hemmed, which I quite like to do early in the process because I don't really enjoy hemming, and for some reason I find it really like annoying when you get to the end. Some people I think find it really satisfying, but I find it annoying when you get to the end of all your sewing and then you have to hem your dress, which I know like that's what you're supposed to do because obviously you want to check the length and things like that. But I don't know, I've made this dress so many times I feel confident just hemming halfway through, and then it means that I basically pop the skirt on at the end and it's all done, which always feels really nice. So yeah, that will be ready to wear soon, which will be nice because we've got such lovely weather. So I really do need a really cute gardening dress for the nice weather, hot weather. Now I thought I'd do a bit of crochet, which if you've been following me for a while, you're probably thinking, Rachel, you're not a crocheter. Sorry, just needed to swap hands. So yes, you're probably thinking, Rachel, you're not a crocheter. No, I am not. I'm very much new to this craft. My sister-in-law and my mother-in-law are amazing crocheters and make beautiful things. And I've been really wanting to learn to do a bit of crochet just for like blankets and cushions and a few homeweary bits. So I have actually been using Skillshare, and this is a really great time to talk about the sponsor of today's video, who is Skillshare. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning platform that offers creative classes for hobbyists, creative professionals, and everyone in between. Skillshare has so many classes taught by world-class creatives, and there is really something for everyone. Skillshare has so many categories to choose from things like art and illustration, animation, photography, graphic design, productivity, video making, and so much more. I have been using Skillshare for many years now and find it the best place for learning new craft skills. Recently, I've been taking Jessica's class, An Intro to Granny Squares. I have been wanting to learn to crochet for years now, and this class has really helped me to learn at my own pace and begin my journey towards making my first granny square blanket. Jessica is a really great teacher, and I found this class really easy to follow. I've been able to make my first ever granny square, and I can't wait to make more to build up a whole blanket. There are other tutorials as well from Jessica on headbands, blankets, coasters, all sorts of beginner crochet projects, so I'll definitely be taking some more crochet classes on Skillshare very soon. Skillshare is now offering an amazing deal of 20% off your first year for viewers using the link in my description below. You will also get 7 days of free access and a 30-day money-back guarantee, meaning you can explore Skillshare completely risk-free. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive 20% off their first year of Skillshare. Get started today. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. So big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So yeah, I made one granny square, which you will have seen just then, and I've actually unraveled it because it was so messy when I got to the end of it. I just thought, you know what, I've sort of learned a little bit, which is great, but I'm just going to unravel it and reuse the yarn and hopefully make a neater one. So that's my plan today, is to make another one following the same video, and I'll probably have to keep following this video repeatedly to make more and more and more. But yeah, that's the plan today, is to sit down and do some crochet with you guys. my granny square and it actually looks so much better. I definitely like got it way more this time. Last time I was like, which hole am I supposed to put it in? And my tension was just awful. It's still not great. It's a very wibbly wobbly granny square, which will probably block out a little bit if I want to block it. But yeah, I'm super excited. Let me show you the finished granny square. Okay, here it is. So this yarn was just a little bit of Drops Lima, which is alpaca wool mix, that I had left over from the jumper that I made this spring. I literally just got this tiny bit left over. So that's what I've used, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. As I say, it's not amazing. You can see like some of the tension, like the corners aren't as, you know, wonderful as they could be, and it's a little bit squiggly wiggly in some places, but you know, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So I think I'm going to try and make a few more of these, and I wonder if this might end up becoming a bit of a thing, like when I have some scraps left, just making a few squares and then maybe making some like blankets or cushion covers or something with them later. I don't know. I think for now I'm just gonna like have fun with it and just make a square every now and again. I might make another one because I've got quite a lot of this left, so I might be able to make another few out of this, and yeah, just see how it goes. But another craft to add to the roster, another like step towards true granny life. That is me now. All of my crafts are like absolute granny crafts. I had to learn how to make granny squares because yeah, I needed the ultimate granny craft. But I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. So I think, and you can obviously, like with this type of granny square that I've been doing on the Skillshare, she was saying like you can keep going and going and going, so you could make this really big. I like the idea of maybe making some coasters and some placemats. So yeah, I might try and figure out like, can I make this big enough to be a placemat, and then make one, not this exact one obviously, but make the same pattern for like coasters and things like that. But yeah, it's super cute. Very happy with that. So on to the third craft of the afternoon. This is going to be some embroidery. So I have bought this lovely embroidery design. So you get the whole sort of, you get the PDF for transferring onto your own embroidery fabric, and then you get all the info about the different flosses you need to buy and all the different stitches, and also all the sort of like how to do the stitches and things like that. I'll link it below. It's just from Etsy. I'm making this for a friend for a present, for a housewarming present. She doesn't watch my videos, so she won't see this, which is fine. So yeah, basically you're supposed to like transfer this like against, like tape it up against a window or onto a light box, but I really can't be bothered. It's not a particularly difficult design to trace off, so I think it's strong enough for me to be able to do it. I've just got a bit of calico, and I'm not actually using the colours that she says in the kit to use, which I know is very naughty, because I've got a bunch of embroidery threads left over from the embroidery I did for my mum for Mother's Day. And I've just had a look, and I've just basically like picked out what would work, because yeah, as I say, I just want to use these up. It feels silly to go out and buy new threads and just have these sat around. So I'm going to use these up, and hopefully I'm not going to run out of them. Hopefully there'll be enough for me to do this, because it's quite a small little embroidery. So yeah, I'm just going to sketch this onto here, and then we shall do some embroidery. Definitely not perfect, but good enough. This is a heat erasable pen. I use it for sewing as well. So when you iron this, it'll all just come off. So yeah, I'm going to attach this to my hoop now, and then yeah, I think we'll get started doing the embroidery. So this is where I've got up to with my embroidery. I like to try and do like one stitch at a time, so this was all back stitch, so I've just done that bit for now, and then I think this is chain stitch on here, so I might leave that for a bit and start on this later on the waves, but yeah, I'm happy with how it's looking so far. I think it's looking pretty cute. We'll work on this over the next couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to take very long. I think it's going to be quite a quick one, which is nice. I'm in the mood for something that I can sort of get done fairly quickly. So yeah, I'll keep working on it over the next few weeks. I thought I would finish off the day in the garden because my last craft of the day is knitting. I'm going to go in soon because it's now actually like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So I'm going to go in and make some dinner. So it'll actually be knitting in the evening, I think. But my last craft of the day is knitting, of course. And I thought I would show you what I'm currently working on. So if I can get it out. This is the Midland cardigan by Laura Penrose. I'm a huge fan of Laura's designs and patterns. Laura is actually a friend. She's a really lovely lady and I really love her knitting patterns. I always find that she just has such a way with construction. She's so clever with her construction, and the Midland cardigan is like a prime example of that, because it's knitted like sideways, so it's knitted in a flat piece. I don't want to say too much about the construction because obviously you can go and watch like Laura's videos on it and stuff or buy the pattern, but so far I have knitted basically now the whole of the back. Oh, let's see if I can put it on. So you can see here, we've got one panel on the front. There we go. One panel on the front with the slip stitch shoulder seam detail, and you can see the V-neck there. And then we're just starting to cast on stitches for the front side as well at the moment. So that's what I'm currently working on. That is Pearl, by the way, if you can hear her. Hopefully she's not too noisy with the microphone. She's a bit grumpy. She's down here. So yeah, I'm knitting this in BC Garn Loch Lomond, which is a yarn that I have never used. There's Pearl's nose. That I have never used before, but I've seen it loads because my local yarn shop when I lived in Chipping Norton stocked it, and Claire, who runs it, was a big fan of the yarn, and it's a lovely like tweedy 100% wool yarn. It's a DK weight, and then when I was on holiday in Northumberland over Easter for the weekend, we went to Fine Fettle Fibres, which is in Felton. If you're ever in the area, I would really recommend it. It's an amazing yarn shop. It's got like 3 different rooms just filled with yarn, all natural fibres, loads and loads and loads of British yarn as well, which is really exciting. But yes, I picked up the BC Garn. So I don't know if you can see, it is basically like a lovely sort of greyish taupey kind of colour, but it's got these like flecks of orange in it. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera. I might get some cutaways for you so you can see the flecks of orange. And it's a really lovely, like sort of quite spongy wool. So yeah, I've been really enjoying knitting with that. And this pattern is just amazing. Honestly, it's been so lovely to knit. I felt like I'd kind of lost my knitting mojo a little bit. I had like a sort of week where I just wasn't really feeling anything. And then I decided to cast this on. And I'm so pleased I did, because it's been like, it's got enough interest because of the interesting construction to sort of keep me going. But it's also, there's like lots of stints of just plain garter stitch, or you know, like short rows and things like that in garter stitch, and it's just really like that is exactly what I needed to work on, was something like that. My brain just, I think because of all the renovating with the house and stuff at the weekends, been quite tired. I've got a lot on with work and stuff, so in the evenings it was just nice to just sit and work on this. So this is knitted up really quickly. I can't actually remember when I cast this on. I think it may only have been a week ago, and I've already done all of that. So yeah, it's going quite fast. As I say, we're now moving on to the left-hand side. So that's the right-hand side. And then obviously you do the sleeves. There's multiple options in the pattern. You can
like pick up stitches for the sleeves, or you can sew them on. I've opted to sew because I actually find sewing knitting fine. It doesn't bother me. I know for a lot of people it does bother them, but it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I'm really loving how this is looking, so I'll be working on that this evening. The only thing I would say, which I mentioned on my Instagram, is and I don't think this is general for BC Garn, because I did speak to my friend Claire about it. I think it's just an odd batch. There have been so many knots in the yarn that I've had to keep cutting out and then keep reattaching the yarn, which has been a real pain in the bum, and it means I've got loads and loads of ends to weave in. So that's the only thing that hasn't been great, which is a bit frustrating. But other than that, I am really enjoying the yarn. My friend Claire, who runs the yarn shop in Chipping Norton, did say that I should message the owner of the yarn shop where I went in Northumberland, and just let her know, because it's probably a dodgy batch. So I probably should do that so that she can contact her suppliers and be like, this isn't great. But other than that, I've been having like a really lovely time with it, really enjoying it. So yeah, I also need to wind some more yarn as well, because I wound like 3 skeins at the beginning, so I think I'm going to go and sit and do some of that now. And then, yeah, this will be what I'll be doing this evening. I'll probably put on some knitting podcasts and work on this. I will say goodbye to you guys now, because I probably won't speak to you again later. So thank you so much for joining me today on a really fun, cozy little Crafternoon. I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know what you've been crafting on. I hope you've been crafting whilst you've been watching. Let me know what you're working on at the moment. I'd love to hear. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.